The earthquake in Japan, the uncertainty in the Middle East, and the perpetual doubts about that global recovery that seems to get no respect has investors wondering, as stocks sell off today, whether the bull market that began 2 years ago has met its match. Here to talk about it, as the music plays in my ears, Uri Landesman, president with Platinum Partners. Frank Gannon is a portfolio manager with the Royce Funds. Gentlemen, welcome. Good to see you both. Uri, let me start with you. How big a hit, if at all, do you think this is to the global economy? And how then does that ripple through to your view of how stocks will perform?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have a very major effect on the global economy. Obviously, this is a great human tragedy. What's happening at the nuclear plants is clearly concerning, and I think will be very, very negative for nuclear-related stocks, both in the utility and the industrial sector going forward. But I don't think this is going to put a crimp in the global recovery at all. Rather, I think that our market was probably due for a technical correction anyway. What's going on in the Middle East and Japan, I think, is just going to accelerate that. But I don't think it's really going to have a secular impact long term.
This is a predicating event for that sort of correction, so avoid anything that's tied to nuclear, whether it's an operator that has aging nuclear facilities or maybe a manufacturer. And again, as you mentioned, Michelle, we're going to talk to that North American chief of Areva. Frank Gannon, the kinds of companies that you follow, small companies, right, should skate past this, shouldn't they?
In theory, but clearly our markets have done extremely well from Mr. Bernanke's speech last August. So we are also probably in position for having a little bit of a pullback. You know, we're probably down about 5% from our peak in February. So this is just more noise, but hopefully it creates more opportunity from our perspective. You know, typically we're trying to find very high quality companies within the small cap space, and any type of correction will give us that opportunity.
And how are you finding those opportunities at this point? How do you define them?
We would define it now as a more normalized environment. You know, this is not the global yard sale that we saw at the end of 2008, the beginning of 2009. Our investment process right now is tending us to find companies that are down because of earnings over that when they report their earnings, or because of a negative article in the papers over the weekend. It's been a very much a normalized environment. It's stock by stock in this environment, not full industries anymore.
Uri, if the Japanese situation doesn't have you really worried about the global economy, does the Middle East?
Yeah, much more so. I think it's going to take a very long time for us to figure out who's really going to be in charge in a variety of these countries. In Libya, for instance, my sense is that most of the oil field workers have fled the country. And so it could be months before that production comes on. So I'm very, very concerned about secularly higher energy prices. That in and of itself would be a real headwind for a global economic recovery.
But does that mean you buy the energy companies, Uri?
I think what you do is you look for alternative energy companies, and yes, I really like energy assets, both natural gas and oil, outside of the Persian Gulf region.
Frank, Royce has the reputation of being a value-conscious shop. Where are the values? What sectors, which companies right now?
Well, we continue to find opportunities within technology. Technology has been an area of the market, especially in the small cap space, that's been undervalued and kind of unrecognized, almost in a 10-year bear market.
Technology is really big, though.
Very big.
What are you talking about here?
We're finding opportunities in old technologies that are finding new uses. So semiconductor equipment manufacturing companies, LED lighting manufacturing companies that will benefit from old technologies that are really finding new uses in today's economy. At the same token, we're continue to find opportunities in energy. We think energy is an excellent area to be investing in today. Not so much the producers, but as more the picks and shovel people who are supplying the technology to the energy producers today, where we're finding some of our opportunities.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Terrific. Nice to have you back. And Uri, thank you as well.